Hey there guys, my name is Travis Field. I'm a rig welder from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. I'm in Houston, Texas right now on the set of Weld Tube in Houston, Texas. What we're doing right now is we're doing a 6G Schedule 10 stainless pipe. Essentially all I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a root pass on it. I'm going to be looking through the gap, just a quick root pass with the right hand side, same thing with the left hand side. And I'm going to show kind of how I do it, where I stand, and just kind of how I do it essentially. This video we're just going to do the root pass because we have a whole bunch of videos coming up, and we only have so much time, myself and Clay Chesham. And Clay, you can find him on Chesham Welding on Instagram. But we only have so many videos, so we're trying to race through them. So let's get this one on the go.
With this video here, stainless steel is a very unique metal. I know myself I'm a little bit rusty at it. I have not touched stainless steel for about 2 years, but what is important with stainless steel is to remember the psychology of the metal. Like I have mentioned in the past videos about always thinking of yourself as maybe a psychologist or a psychiatrist, and these different metals are your patients. Stainless steel is very heavily influenced by heat. That's its main biggest, how you manipulate the metals by heat. Stainless steel to me is like oobleck, and oobleck is cornstarch and water. And it's a very similar way of thinking about stainless steel, because when you have the stainless steel, when it is cool to the touch, you can apply pressure to it, you can push on it, you can hit it, you can strike it, and it's a solid mass. It's not going to move, it's a solid mass. And then when you apply heat to it, very much the same as like oobleck, cornstarch and water, apply heat to it with your hands, it becomes runny, it flows, it sinks, it soaks, it saturates, it bows, it bends like a banana, basically. Now what I'm doing here is I'm just welding up the right hand side, and there's different techniques you can use. You can use continuous feed technique, dabbing technique, brake surface tension technique. Doing a roll welding, you can sink the stainless steel through. It's very much like, it's almost like syrupy, runny, quick to solidify. Those kind of things is what you can use to describe it. I always think of it as soaks and saturates, quick to solidify, quick to break surface tension, depending on if it's a 308 or a 316, 317. There's actually a job test I did for a company one time, and if a person wants to do it for practice to better themselves, so they're always good at very different circumstances and situations, you can take a nickel, say any nickel alloy, Monel, Hastelloy, say a 625, 622, C22, Monel, etc. You can do that filler metal on carbon, and that's like middle range is what it is. It's sluggish, it's not too sluggish, it flows, it's pretty good. And then you go to a 317 stainless, which is it's runnier, it trips the welder up because it's a little bit runnier. You can use the same technique on it, continuous feed, brake surface tension, dabbing technique, but it's runnier. And then you switch over to a chrome 9, and it's really sluggish. So those kind of things, those kind of weld tests kind of trip a welder up. I'm going up the left-hand side here. A little bit runny, a little bit rusty on my skill set. But it's always good. Whenever I think of welding, there's different kinds of welding. There's different metals to weld. There's different weld processes. I always think of welding as a barrel. Think of a large barrel full of water. And this barrel has a small little hole in the bottom. And what's happening is that you have a little pail and you're constantly filling this large barrel full of water, but unfortunately the water inside the barrel just keeps draining out by this little hole. And I always think of that as, the water inside the barrel is your practice. You're constantly practicing, you're working on different techniques, you're always doing these things here. And your skill set is ever so slightly just dripping and draining out of this barrel, and the amount of practice and energy you put into bettering yourself at maybe certain metals or certain weld processes or certain techniques is the water that you're adding in through the pail. So stainless steel. It's been about 2 years since I've done this one, but I know for fabbing it's very interesting. It's a very unique metal, and when you help other welders, a lot of times when a person is very inexperienced with stainless steel, they tend to fabricate it as if it's like a carbon, but it has a very unique personality to it, and very, like I had said earlier, it's very influenced by heat. It's like a math equation. What you do to one side, you got to do to the other. Quite often, say fabricating OLEDs, fabricating anything that has heat applied to one side, we'll use like a strong vector counter pole. Maybe you can heat up the opposing side and then heat up the side you're welding on, and then sometimes we'll cool it by water, dry air. We'll find heat soaking blocks. Can't remember what they're called, but the blocks that absorb much of the energy and the heat. Just take the heat away from them. But this is the root pass here. A little bit more practice on my behalf.
Hey there guys, we're back. We just finished the stainless weld. Now WeldTube did find the one video and the one kind of weld that I am very rusty at, but the nice thing about that is that I know I'll be back here more often. I'll be going to FabTech and other places, so I think it's more of a benefit that because I know what to practice for, and I know to practice up and get better at other forms and facets of welding. So you can find us on WeldTube and on all social media outlets. You can find myself. I'm a rig welder from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. You can find me on Instagram at Fieldres. Thank you.